Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News AM News on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Ramsey Enoch Abu. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. The Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau has published its preliminary findings on the Abuja-Kaduna train derailment that occurred on August 26, 2025 at Asham Station, confirming that 21 passengers sustained injuries, but no lives were lost. The train, a locomotive with registration CDD 5C22701, had departed Idu Station in Abuja at 9:45 a.m. en route to Rigasa, Kaduna, carrying 618 people, including Nigerian Railway Corporation crew, security personnel, and service staff. The agency confirmed that initial findings and recommendations have been published in its preliminary report, which is now available to download on the NSIB website. First Lady Oluremi Tinubu says her 65th birthday fundraiser for the long-delayed National Library project has so far generated 20.4 billion naira. Speaking at the Senate House Conference Center, Abuja, Tinubu dismissed suggestion that the initiative tagged Oluremi at 65 Education Fund was politically motivated, describing as a love project born of her passion for education. Sadia Yakub has details.
First Lady Oluremi Tinubu said this fund, supervised by the Federal Ministry of Education and the Chief Librarian of the Federation, will remain open until December 2025 to accommodate more donations. The First Lady explained that the contributions would help revive the Styles 12-story library complex in Abuja, which has suffered decades of delays since its approval in 1981 and is currently only 40% complete.
That is why if we take our baby steps in well-doing, before long things will begin to shape up for our beloved nation. We all have to rise up, play our part in the building process. A grain of sand and a little drop of water makes a mighty ocean.
The First Lady recalled her past philanthropic efforts, including raising 50 million for the National Sickle Cell Foundation, 200 million for the New Era Foundation, and building schools in Liberia. She, however, expressed confidence that the project, considered national treasure, will be finished within 2 years.
What is wrong in doing well or trying to build a society? If I could assist the post-war building process in Liberia by donating the Oluremi Tinubu Elementary and Junior Secondary School in Montserrado County in Liberia, what is wrong in drawing attention to some of the areas of need in our beloved nation?
Oluremi Tinubu acknowledged support from the President, the Vice President, former leaders, former First Ladies, National Assembly members, state governors and their spouses, business moguls, and members of the public.
The head of service, Chumai Bako, has commended Governor Basani for supporting and strengthening Kaduna State Civil Service through training and capacity building since he assumed office. Bako enjoined civil servants to be dedicated to their job by maintaining good work ethics, given the training that he had been receiving since the present administration came on board. The head of service made this remark after inspecting computer-based test centers, where civil servants are seeking confirmation of appointment are undergoing examinations after the statutory 2-year probationary period. Chief Judge of the Federation of the Federal Capital Territory, Justice Hosseini Baba Yusuf, has discharged no fewer than 35 inmates awaiting trial across the 2 custodial centers in the Kefi local government area of Nasarawa State. A statement by the Chief Judge of the Federal Capital Territory, Baba Yusuf, says The discharged inmates during a visit to the Medium Security Custodia Center in Kefi. The intervention facilitated by the Public and Private Development Center, a non-governmental organization, sought the release of the 35 inmates, who included 33 males and 2 females. Chairperson of Abuja State Independent Electoral Commission, Jumai Abubakar, has urged residents of the state to take advantage of the ongoing permanent cards registration exercise to enable them to participate fully in the forthcoming elections. Abubakar gave the charge during a sensitization visit to that local government area of the state. She explained that the essence of the exercise was to create awareness among the electorate that voter registration is currently ongoing nationwide. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has been asked to release an interim report on the investigation into the alleged $4 billion fraud linked to the failed rehabilitation of Nigeria's Port Harcourt, Warri and Kaduna refineries. Anti-corruption crusaders under the aegis of Concerned Nigerians for Transparency and Justice made the demand in a statement. A probe was reportedly launched into the inconclusive rehabilitation project about 6 months ago, but the outcome of the investigation is yet to be disclosed. You're watching the live broadcast of the AM News. The AM News returns after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back from that break. Now let's take you to the world of business, where the Federal Inland Revenue Service says government borrowing will continue as part of Nigeria's long-term economic strategy. The executive chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, Zach Adedeji, made this known while addressing State House correspondents in Abuja, that borrowing should not be seen as weakness, but as an integral part of the country's fiscal plan. Uyi Agbomofuegbe has the details.
The executive chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service, Zach Adedeji, explained that every national budget is built on a mix of revenue, expenditure, and borrowing. According to him, loans are not used for salaries, but for investments that will serve future generations, such as infrastructure projects. Adedeji insisted that borrowing remains essential to balance revenue gains with long-term national development goals.
By that time, we will have harmonized all the taxes, reduction in corporate tax rates, budget and spending reforms. Mr. President just finished meeting now with National Assembly to make sure that now that the fundamental is set, how do we have or continue to have the budget that works for all Nigeria?
The FIRS boss explained that federal revenue collection rose sharply to 3.64 trillion naira in September 2025, a 411% increase from 711 billion naira recorded in May 2023. He noted that the jump was largely driven by higher non-oil income, streamlined tax reforms, and improved compliance.
The total accretion to Federation as at May 2023 is 711 billion. That is what we made. As of September, which is last month, you see the total accretion is 3.6 trillion. That is increase of 411%, which is just as a result of the economic reform decision that Mr. President has taken. And then when
Adedeji maintained that with reforms already boosting collections, borrowing will continue to complement revenue growth, a move he says is necessary to secure Nigeria's long-term economic stability. Uyi Agbomofuegbe, reporting for Global TV News.
President Bola Tinubu has directed the Bank of Agriculture to clear outstanding arrears of 30 billion naira owed to agro dealers and impute suppliers under the National Agricultural Growth Scheme and Agro Pockets. according to a statement issued by the bank's external media relations lead. Judith Ekwebelem says the directive followed the release of funds from the African Development Bank. The bank explained that the move was aimed at strengthening support for farmers and stabilizing the country's food supply chain. The federal government has also designated BOA as the custodian of all agricultural financing program funds. The House of Representatives says it will ensure transparency and accountability in the federal government's Naira for crude oil policy. Speaker of the House, Tajuddin Abbas, made the pledge at the inauguration of an ad hoc committee to oversee the policy's implementation. National Assembly correspondent Aniete Patrick reports.
The Speaker, who was represented by the Minority Leader Kingsley Chinda, explained that the initiative has far-reaching implications for foreign exchange stability, revenue generation and long-term energy security.
The Naira for crude oil policy carries significant implications for Nigerians' foreign exchange stability, revenue generation and long-term energy security. A thorough examination of its framework will enable the committee to determine whether the policy is achieving its intended objectives, identify any gaps in its implementation, and highlight areas where adjustments may be required.
Chairman of the ad hoc committee, Boniface Emaregwa, says the policy seeks to create a framework where crude oil transactions are increasingly denominated in Naira. If well structured, it will boost confidence in Nigeria's currency and stimulate domestic growth.
Nigeria is blessed with abundant crude oil reserves, yet the benefits of this God-given resource have not always translated into maximum value for our people. The volatility of the foreign exchange markets, over-dependence on the dollar.
The committee has been tasked to review the policy's framework, engage stakeholders, and make evidence-based recommendations to guide the House.
A key area of interest to DAPMAN while you're doing your work is the cost build-up, the actual costs at which refineries receive the crude oil that is being sold in the country, because this is a key factor in what the man at the pump gets the price of the fuel that he's buying.
The House says the move aligns with President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda and reflects its commitment to transparency, economic stability, and national development. Aniete Patrick, reporting for Global TV.
Over the years, tricycle operations in Kano State have replaced the popular taxi, effectively creating jobs and feeding thousands of youths across the state. In this report, Global TV correspondent Idris Jibril takes a look at tricycle business in Kano's transportation sector.
An estimated 60,000 tricycles operate within Kano metropolis on a daily basis, effectively creating jobs to over 100,000 youth in the state. Although some criminal activities are committed using tricycle, but residents in Kano believes that it is the easiest and fastest means of transportation in Kano.
Tricycle is very important because it helps our children to become gainful, employed, rather than involved in criminal activities.
Anas Ahmad has been riding for over 15 years, during which he was able to build a house and have a family. Anas and several other riders are now the great beneficiaries of tricycle operations in Kano.
Tricycle is helping a lot. I am helping my parents and other several under me. I have worked under several people, but today I own my own tricycle.
But there are problems. Some see this means of transportation as a means of committing crimes and addition to traffic-related offenses.
It is true, several crimes like phone snatching are committed using tricycle. Sometimes you will enter tricycle with bad people who are dangerous and may collect your belongings.
Be that as it may, tricycle operations in Kano seems to have come to stay, especially now that there is no any other means of transportation better than Keke Napep in Kano. From Kano, Idris Jibrin reporting for Global Television News.
And on the foreign scene, in Malawi, President Lazarus Chakwera has conceded defeating last week's election, clearing the way for opposition candidate Peter Mutharika to return to power. The announcement came even before the Electoral Commission released final results. Mukhtar Kasim reports.
Chakwera, who first came to office in 2020 after defeating Mutharika, acknowledged in a national address that his rival had built what he called an insurmountable lead. The 70-year-old leader from Malawi Congress Party faced mounting criticism over the economy, with soaring inflation, rising food and fertilizer prices, and accusations of mismanagement dominating the campaign.
Fellow Malawians, 2 nights ago, the Malawi Electoral Commission announced the validated results of the presidential election from 11 councils, bringing their total to 24, with only the results of 12 councils remaining. From those official results, it was clear that my main rival, His Excellency Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika of the Democratic Progressive Party, had already secured an insurmountable lead and is the presumptive winner of the presidential election.
The president's 5th year in office was marked by economic turbulence in the largely rural, agricultural-dependent nation. Analysts say voters' frustration over the cost of living and job creation fueled Mutharika's comeback. Now, as Malawians await the official declaration of the results, Chakwera's concession has set the stage for a smooth handover and a new chapter in the country's democratic journey. Mukhtar Kasim, reporting for Global Television News.
Nigeria's Ministry of Foreign Affairs says sustaining its mission across the world comes as a high price reality to the government must constantly contend with in order to keep the nation's diplomatic ties alive. Global TV Foreign Affairs correspondent, who had an exclusive interview with the spokesperson of the ministry, has the rest of the story. Speaking at the ministry's headquarters in Abuja, the spokesperson, Kimebi Imomotimi Ibiefa, explained that running the ministry is capital intensive, with much of the funding going into essential needs like accommodation and office spaces for Nigerian embassies abroad.
Maintaining the missions abroad is capital expensive in the sense that, one, you have to have accommodation for the embassy. Accommodation for the embassy, 2 key areas is, one, you must have accommodation for the office of the embassy. That is called the chancery. So you must have the embassy building, the chancery. Then you must have accommodation for the ambassador. So, and all these 2 accommodations have to be in prime areas in the capital.
He noted that despite the challenges, Nigerians in many countries are distinguished for their hard work and enterprise, often pursuing advanced educational qualifications that not only benefit them personally, but also contribute to the development of their host nations.
Give the Nigerian 6 months or 1 year. The Nigerian will go to school if it means taking online courses to improve himself. So instead of doing the physical labor in the construction site, before you know what is happening, he has transformed or translated to become a supervisor or a manager. So he will no longer be doing the physical work, but gradually it transited from being a supplier of labor to now becoming a management staff.
The spokesperson stressed that while financial demands remain a hurdle, the ministry continues to play a vital role in strengthening Nigeria's diplomatic relations worldwide. Ramsey Enoch Agbo reporting for Global Television News. Now to the weather spot. A high-power Nigerian delegation has arrived in London, United Kingdom, for the final phase of the country's presentation to host the centenary edition of the Commonwealth Games in 2030. The delegation is led by the chairman of the National Sports Commission, Shehu Diko, and Director General Bukola Olabade, as the team gets set to make a strong case for Nigeria's historic bid, which would see the Games come to Africa for the first time. The leadership of the National Sports Commission has restated its firm commitment to ensuring that the 14 recognized constituencies are fully represented on the boards of all sport federations in Nigeria. This assurance follows consultations with the key stakeholders of the forthcoming National Sport Federation selection. The Commission emphasized that the democratic structure of sports administration in Nigeria is anchored on inclusivity, fairness, and transparency, and therefore no constituency will be disenfranchised in the composition of federation boards. As Global TV AM News comes to an end, we want to let you know that the Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using @Global TV NG. I am Ramsey Enoch Agbo. Thanks for watching.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest. And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
It's another beautiful day and a special welcome. So good to know that you are there. Thank you for joining us on Global Television today. This is Global Morning. We are bringing this program to you live and direct from the nation's capital in Abuja. It is a rainy day, but then what else do we have to say? It is the season, of course, and we are here because you deserve the best, and we are committed to bringing the best your way all the time. That's the reason we are here this morning. Once again, many thanks for joining us on Global Morning today. My name is Ramsey Enoch Agbo. So many things happening, and of course, my colleague is always right here, and as it is, we will bring you so much details today on the program, and of course, we will touch a little of the developing stories from yesterday before we get into the full discussion today. That will happen after this break. Stay with us. Well, as a matter of fact, so many things are happening, and we'll bring you all of that detail this morning. Myself and my colleague, my co-host this morning, I think this is about the first time I'm co-hosting with Priscilla.
Actually, yeah. Good morning.
Good morning, Priscilla.
Yeah, good morning. It's such a delight to be seated next to you.
Yeah.
Co-hosting with you. Yeah. I'm sure we're going to have fun today.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time. Yeah. You know, one thing is certain, that has been on Global Television, the way we run the Global Morning to make sure our viewers get the best. And of course, let's begin from the issue of Natasha. Everywhere, I don't know, you know, sometimes you will think this issue has diced down a little bit, then all of a sudden it comes to the spotlight again. And there is something that I've noticed with this Natasha Akpabio's case. It's like there are certain people that have special interest in this case. The way it's been pushed on social media, you see comedians, you see a lot of people talking about it, some for, some against. Everybody have their perspective to it. But then I think the last reactions that we are getting from the social media and every other places, people talking to us, you know, we're in the media space, so we have people talk to us almost all the time. Because like I always say, people believe that those of us in the media space, we have maybe a judgmental spirit. So, so every time you see people talking to us about issues, though we are gatekeepers, so I'm not surprised. And people have said, well, I think the most important thing right now is the reinstatement, and that the office has been unsealed. It means resuming her session at the plenary in the Senate is a sure thing. And some persons are saying, well, this is opening of office. It could be that they want her staff, her aides, to resume duties, because we heard initially the allowances of her aides was stopped, but later on there was an intervention, and they started paying them, except for Natasha, whose allowances, security aids and all other things were withdrawn. But now, opening the office, I am feeling that that is more like returning back, resuming duties.
Well, our fingers are crossed. Natasha is someone that has a high spirit. She is, of course, a strong woman. Obviously, for her to still be standing where she is right now in this whole case, I'll give it to her. And then Akpabio, on the other hand, we don't know what is going to unfold. Really, I don't want to have to make a strong statement on this very issue because things are still unfolding. Resuming of office, I don't know, it was a 6 month, in my opinion, it was a 6 month suspension, which is already, has already been run as it is. And I don't know why she still, she was still delayed resumption even up till when she, up until the period she resumed then. But I mean, it is Nigeria, and it is part also, evidently, it is a part also. Like you have said, every person, people from the media space, everybody, are taking sides based on how they feel about the situation. But in all, the issue on ground, let us deal with the facts. I'm not a lawyer to say, to give a verdict on this very issue. But then, I mean, it is not, in my opinion, it was not worth the suspension. It is gearing towards a personal rift. It is obviously a personal rift that has, put her in the space where she is right now. But, I mean, like I said, things are still unfolding. We don't want any other mess. We want this whole issue to die down. Her people are suffering for the whole suspension. She has said that the suspension did not deter her in any way attending to her people. But I mean, her allowances being withdrawn, of course, it would have its own play in the whole situation. So it is time for all of these things to come to an end. In my opinion, it is not worth it. I have tried to recall her. It didn't work. Her people needs to be attended to. Her people needs to be represented in the Senate. So this whole thing, in my opinion, should be long gone already. And I mean, it should end. It should end. It is not worth it. I mean, it's representing us in the wider, larger community. It's representing us outside the shores of the country. I don't know what people would say of us. Do you understand? This whole issue went even as far as she took it out of Nigeria. She took it out of Nigeria. It has given us a label, whether we like it or not. Is it worth it? A personal rift? Is it worth it?
Well, some persons are looking at it as a personal rift, but now that the case has resorted to suspension, you know how it started? From the sitting position, the change of the sitting position, which the now senator, Senate President, also reacted to when he was a senator and not a Senate President. So I don't know. I think that issue needs to be talked about so that it doesn't repeat itself. Again, this is Natasha and Akpabio. We don't know. Maybe at the 11th assembly, it could be some other persons, because we've had issues with sitting position at the National Assembly. I don't know particularly what is all about, what the seats are all about. Some person said, I won't be seen, even if I'm raising my hands, I won't be seen. And let's just leave it at that, because you can't finish talking about this Natasha and Akpabio's case in just a day. But then moving away from there, let's also look at other issues. The issue of flooding. The rain. I was thinking, this is September. I was even thinking that by now the rain, yes, it should have subsided, but I don't know. The rain keeps falling, but I don't say I'm feeling bad, and I don't say I'm feeling very good about it. The area why I am not so happy about it is because people can't go to farm, and this season, this is a farming season when it's raining like this. This is the time for us to take advantage of this natural resource, but then our people can't go to farm because of insecurity. So if it's raining like this, before now, people should be happy. Well, wow, harvest season, we're going to have a lot to harvest and all of that, because we had a very beautiful rain in 2025 and all of that, but now people can't go to rain. Instead, we're having flooding in some. In fact, I think there have been, no matter I've said it severally, and of course, and some states are on red alert as we speak right now as it regards to flooding. Then one of the things that I want to say is, now that we have a pre-information about this flooding, Nigerians are so used to damage control. They wait for it to happen. Even though there have been an information that this thing is going to happen. What measures are we putting in place? Or do we still want people to be displaced? Then we start begging, permit me to use the word begging, okay, for palliatives, for relief materials and all of that. I don't think we need to do all of that now that I feel these informations are right out there. The necessary things should be done. Places like Niger State, places like where there is River Niger, places like Benue State where there is River Benue. Well, it's an eyesore. Anytime it's the river gets flooded, I've been an eyewitness. I've seen it before. You see people being displaced because along that Okorodi Airport Road, you see that people live not too far from the river, and as soon as it gets flooded, people are being displaced from their homes and all of that. So I think something needs to be done about this before the flooding comes.
Absolutely, the flooding is already here. We have seen it, you know, on the it's already happening. We had the Mokwa, you know, disaster, and then we had these officials coming out. We have policymakers coming out, like you said. In this part of the world, I don't know why we are so comfortable doing medicine after death. We have the next season. Okay, let's leave this very rainy season now. We have the next rainy season ahead of us. What are we going to do to prevent another flood? When the rainy season finally comes to an end, what are the measures? Do we sit and fold our hands and then wait for the first rains to come or the first, you know, heavy downpours to come and then we start to act? No. The rainy, every season comes with its own, of course, advantages and disadvantages. Yes, for the rainy season, it's a time for farmers to go farm, plants, and all of that. But with it also comes disasters. And rain is a natural resource. It is a resource that should be diverted, that can be used for something beneficial to the environment. It is when we don't plan well that we now have it become a disaster. It is supposed to be a resource. So how do we channel? So blessing how becoming a disaster. Exactly. We don't channel it properly and it becomes a disaster. We're supposed to have good drainages. We're supposed to have, you know, good planning, city planning. I don't know what we're doing about all of that. It is time to start acting. When we see these things happen in areas, you know, that it is happening right now. I think it's time for, you know, this planning, urban, regional planning people to come together and, you know, map out those areas, because we already have these areas, you know, prone to such disasters. It is time, at that point when it's happening, it is that time they should look into it, plan with the disaster. That is the way to prevent it from happening again. We don't just fold our hands, just plan for relief materials, tell them. Most times what we do is we warn them to move from such locations maybe 2 months before the time comes. Where do we want them to go to? Is it easy to find a house in, you know, in this economy right now? You just come, give people notice, die minutes, there will be flooding in so time, say in the next 1 month, and you relocate. So where do they go to? Do you provide houses where they go to? It's time to start acting now as it is happening. As they move out from that place, you prepare a place for them, move them there, and plan immediately before another raining season comes. But we tell them leave. The next moment when the whole flooding subsides, they return back. The next season we tell them leave. That is the back and forth we keep going, you know, circling around. But it should come to an end. It should come to an end.
All right. It should come to an end, as a matter of fact, because we can't keep having a repeat of this. Let's go on a quick break. After this break, the conversation continues.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well-informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest. And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest. And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
All right, welcome back. Thank you very much for still being here with us. Right about now, we go to the newspaper review segment, and we start with the very first paper here, which is the Punch newspaper, with a story just above the nameplate. Olubadan, Oyo gears up for historic coronation. There are about two riders there. The first one says, Ladoja celebrates 81st birthday today, remains in seclusion for traditional rites. And the second rider, Ibadan Airport reopens as Tinubu advanced team. VIPs arrive, hotels fully booked. You find out details on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. And the very next story there, I'll protect Yoruba interest if elected president. That's coming from Atiku. That detail is on page 3. And then we go to the big story there. NPCL secures 318 billion naira to fund new oil exploration. About 2 riders, FARC subcommittee probes spending for frontier exploration. Budget office warns Nigeria losing 60% oil income. National oil firm pays 0 dividend to Federation account despite 1.06 trillion naira profits. Experts push private exploration. The very next story, UNGA, Tinubu aligns with call for Palestinian state. That detail is on page 18. Infrastructure decay costs Abuja Kaduna trail derailment. That's coming from NSIB, and you'll find that story on page 23 of that paper. Tinubu receives Ogoni report, honors slain leaders. That detail is on page 30. Osun rides federal government, challenges local government funds disbursement. That detail on page 18. Motorists stranded as flood overruns Lagos communities. You'll find that on page 5 and 6. And finally, Ibas meets Tinubu if FCC chair in Aso Rock.
What's the meeting all about?
30. Well, let us find out. I don't know why we're still hearing Ibas.
Some persons are agitating that he should be investigated. The 6 months should be investigated. And some persons are saying, is there any need for that? After the man said he has been able to save 5 billion for the state in just 6 months. But some persons are saying, well, accountability is essential. You've been the administrator of the state, sole administrator of the state for 6 months.
That's a lot.
There need to be accountability. So now, meeting with the president who appointed him the sole administrator and the EFCC chairman, well, I think your thoughts is as good as mine.
Actually, let's see how that goes. It's a Nigerian thing and a politician's thing. They say Koniman die, Koniman bury him.
All right, so I'm just hearing that. I'm just hearing, we learn every day. All right, let's just flip to the next paper right now, which is the Guardian newspaper. And on the Guardian newspaper this morning, we have some stories making round. This one says, 2027, Atiku counts Southwest votes, pledges to unite Nigeria. Tinubu summons Ibas to Aston Villa amid financial probe. Right, we just talked about that. Reps raise a panel to monitor Tinubu's Naira for crude policy. I think this is good, but then monitoring. All right, let's just leave it at that, okay? Now, this one says political parties or SPVs. That's the big story now, saying roar over rights. Multiple dormant parties as INEC considers 14 more. And it's true, we have a lot of parties been registered, but then on the election day, you just hear of the big parties, APC, PDP, Labour Party, you just hear of just few of the parties. Well, I don't know what it takes. I don't know the financial implication, but then I think the actors know better. One rider to that story, Nigeria's political participation update. You can get that on the Guardian newspaper. A federal government honors Ogoni 4 to resume oil production in communities. NSIB links Abuja-Kaduna train derailment to poor maintenance. That's it. LSG deploys survey to manage HIV spread and treatment. The picture of the Lagos State Governor is right there, Sanwo-Olu. Then we have this one, Hunger at 80. Tinubu urges sweeping UN reforms. Permanent seat at UNSC amid global shift. Federal government renews commitment to ending torture, upholding human rights. And of course, Reps raise panel to monitor Tinubu's Naira for crude oil. That caught my fancy, and I think that's a good one. Let me just take the last one of The Guardian now, which says Oboyeri Mamodimon as Oscar Ibu dies at 67. And that's the size of the headlines from The Guardian as Priscilla takes us through the Nation's newspaper.
Right here on the Nation's newspaper, right above the nameplate, we have the first story there. Olubadan Oba Ladoja will modernize CT. And the writer there it says, all set for coronation. You'll find that detail on page 5 of the Nation newspaper. The next story is on Wike. State now viable to deliver more projects. State now viable to deliver more projects. I wonder on what authority Wike is saying that. Is it as a minister of FCT? Do you summon states? Do you give states an order? Do you tell them what to do? Do you have such a power? Why is Wike making such a verdict? I don't know why.
Welcome to Nigeria.
Anyways, you find that story on page 4 of the Nation newspaper. Oberwaveri mourns as Oscar Ibu dies at 67. Gunmen on 50 motorcycles invade Kwara community, page 4 and page 5 respectively, for that very story. The big story here says Nigeria offers solution to debt crisis in developing communities. A writer there says Tinubu seeks reordering of world order in UNGA 2025 statement. Finally, no entry qualifies for 2015 NLNG Awards, Advisory Board declares. You'll find that story on page 4. Let's just flip to the next paper, which is the Daily Trust, and we'll have Ramsey take us through that.
All right, let's quickly go through the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. On the Daily Trust newspaper, we have some very striking headlines. Daily Trust have this first story, which says Kano Maradi Rail project to reach Katsina December, according to federal government. And of course, we have this one which says flood destroy houses, farms in Kogi destroys activities in Lagos. And of course, we also have some other headlines from here. Well, the headlines returns after this break. Stay with us.
Just continue. Just continue because it's the paper that is shown.
Yes, of course, more headlines stay coming on your way from the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. The big story is where we are going to right now. The big story actually caught my fancy. In fact, I needed to go on break to actually take this big story because it's really big. I needed to go through it and see some of the reasons why this is coming up, because this has been a major problem in this part of the world, Nigeria, our country. What's the big story? It says federal government goes after certificate forgers. We had a lot of issues from the polity as it has to do with political office holders. In fact, there's someone from my constituency who contested, and at the verge of being sworn in, something happened, and that case was a case of forgery, and at the end of the day he never got there. We have these things happening to a lot of people in Nigeria. But then, if you want to get the details, just pick a copy of the Daily Trust newspaper. We want to talk about that. In fact, you cover education, so you should have something to say.
Certificate forgery. I think when our educational system reforms itself to the extent that we're no longer tied to certificates. Certificates are good.
Yes, a lot of.
It's over importance. Is at this point is, should I say, troubling, and that is why we have people going to forge certificates. Competency should be king in such an era, in this digital era.
I think some people are even doing that. Certificate is taking the place of certificates now.
Thank you for that. So, if you have a system that depends, that is reliant on competent people, competency as it is, we wouldn't have such cases. But Nigeria as it is, we pride ourselves in all the certificates, which is not a bad thing. Like I mentioned, that certificate is important, but it shouldn't be overemphasized.
I think the concern should be all about productivity and results. Instead of I am Ramsey Enoch, I go BSc, MBI, NNT.
All those certificates are not competent. You just go to school. Let people go to school to cram.
Especially this internet age.
Yes, you go to school, you cram, you pass exams, you come out, forget everything.
This is going to be a very long conversation.
Yeah.
Well, let's get back to the papers and see some other stories from there before we flip to the next one. Still on Daily Trust newspaper this morning, looking at these other headlines, which says reform or risk relevance. Tinubu warns at ONGA, that is the United Nations General Assembly. A family of 6 found unconscious. One died in Benue. Right, Ochuntu federal government, don't release local government funds to sacked APC chairman. CBN, Naira abuse will raise printing costs. All right, those are the headlines from the Daily Trust newspaper, as Priscilla will take us through the Vanguard.
Oh, let's go to the Vanguard paper with the first story there. CBN warns against Naira abuse, hoarding of currency. That story you'll find on page 19. Expectations of subjects as Oba Ladoja sends throne as 44th Olubadan. You'll find that on page 14. That man bows, seeks collaboration with Dangote refinery. That story on page 9. Restructuring key to Nigeria's sustainable development. That's coming from the SGF. The next story there, Oscar Ibu dies at 67. Obarovary, others mourn. On page 7, you'll find that story. The big story here, it's an healthcare crisis, and it says what government can do to end mass migration of doctors, NMA, NARD, AMLSN, and others giving this hint. And then the two writers there says migration of medical personnel putting pressure on healthcare system in Nigeria, laments exhaustion killing few personnel available. Resident doctors vow to resume strike after September 26th. We don't know that condition. We don't hope for another strike. That reminds me, I was in the hospital some days ago, and then the doctor on sit there, it's I think it's the National Hospital, doctor on sit there, was attending to me, and some nurse walked in saying, oh, we have other patients waiting, and then she raged and was like, I cannot attend to more than 15 people today. So it happened to be she had a lineup of so many patients, just one doctor. And the funny thing is, these doctors shuffle between hospitals, private hospitals, and the government hospitals. So they finish from the the government hospitals, they go back with all the stress to their private hospitals and still have to attend to patients. That is, that exposes what our healthcare system is about right now. It is in so much shambles. You go to the hospital and the doctor is supposed to there was a particular time I left a government hospital because of the time it would take for me to see a doctor, and then I go to a private hospital and I'm told, oh, the doctor is in the government hospital, he will soon be here. And I have to still wait, despite the fact that I am in a private hospital. So our healthcare system is in so much shambles.
Oh my God.
Honestly, of course, it all.
Why you run from the government hospital to the private hospital? You were told to wait. All right.
That is where we are.
See, to be sincere, the education sector, the health sector, very crucial, especially the health sector. And that's the reason I feel very bad when I see doctors going on strike. What rings in my head is how many people are on life support right now that needs the attention of a doctor minutes, hours, daily. What will happen to the people? Then you come to talk about the fact that we have limited number of doctors in Nigeria. Do you know how many people? Do you know the population of Nigeria? Millions of Nigerians are down as we speak. Because why? What are they eating?
The economy is already.
The economy. One thing is this: what you eat either make you feel good or make you feel bad.
Yes.
It could be nourishing and it could be detrimental to the health. But some persons fall to whatever they have because they don't have an option. What kind of water are we drinking? Do we have potable water everywhere in Nigeria? So people are falling ill on a daily basis. But where are the doctors?
And we still
connected to the Japa syndrome.
We still have medical students. It looks like most of those medical students now are studying medicine to leave the country.
See, this is what is happening. As they are getting to their final year, they are already applying.
Wow.
Majority of them.
Wow.
So this thing needs to be dealt with once and for all.
And they are clamoring, they are all crying. Their pain is, we want more. We need a restructuring around our salary. And if you look at it, that is true. How much do our politicians get? How much are they paid? Should we pay people that tend to, let's not even talk about the healthcare system. We still have professors come out to say they're not well, paid. And these are the issues. How would we resolve all of this? I mean,
it's a challenge. It's a challenge. I think it's high time the people in authority begin to pay attention to these basic issues. Because, yes, the thing is, they don't go to the same hospital, they don't go to the same school.
More reason why they wouldn't.
More reason why they wouldn't even know what is happening there. So sometimes there is a saying that he who wears the shoe knows where it's biting, where pain is. So if not until they start their wards, start attending schools and go to hospitals in Nigeria, I don't think they will know the importance of fixing our medical sector and the education sector.
I like what Donald Trump is doing. He's restricting visa entry. I hope this really touches on our politics. I hope it really touches on them. We need to restrict them. When they are restricted, in the larger world, when they are restricted to this, their own idea of good health care and everything, they will come back to where they belong, they will come back to where it's home for them, and they would fix it. I think that's the solution. Let's just go to the very last story there. on the Vanguard paper. And okay, I don't think that's the last two, but it's under federal government news call for permanent seat at UN Security Council. This is right up there that says at South Africa, Ramaphosa 6 end to trade weaponization. Tinubu honors Ogeni 4 moves to restart oil production in Ogoniland. Tinubu meets with ex-Rivers Administrator Ibas Edun, EFCC chair at Aso Rock. And finally, on sports, we have FIFA Under-20 World Cup. Zubairu raises hope of lifting elusive trophy in Shil. You want to read up those details on the Vanguard paper. Let's go to the next paper, which is the Daily Times. I'll have Ramsey take us through that.
All right, the Daily Times newspaper is our next point of call, and it's going to be the last we'll be taking on this segment. Quickly to the Daily Times newspaper, where the big story says Ogoniland. Tinubu directs Ribadu NNPCL stakeholders to explore return of oil production, which is very important. Then this other story says poor road maintenance training course, ABJ Kaduna train derail. That's coming from NSIB. And of course, those are the headlines that will be taken from the Daily Times newspaper, and that's going to be the size of the newspaper review this morning. In fact, every headline is the editorial opinion of the various newspaper publishers. Global Television and the presenters have no contribution to these headlines. Let's go on a quick break. After this break, we'll bring you Social Buzz by Ogochukwu Mobuna. Stay with us.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest. And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Good morning and welcome to Social Buzz on Global Morning. I am Ogochukwu Mobino. Good morning, the Global Morning crew. And today on Social Buzz, we are talking about one particular trending issue from the financial area. Well, the CBN has warned that the Naira abuse is driving up printing costs. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has raised alarm over the rising cost of printing and replacing banknotes, warning that widespread abuse of the Naira is worsening the burden on the financial system. The concern was voiced on Wednesday, September 24th, at the launch of a nationwide sensitization campaign on proper Naira handling in Abuja. Speaking on behalf of Deputy Governor of the Operation Directorate, Dr. Bala Bello, the Director of Currency Operations and Branch Management Department, I beg your pardon, Dr. Adedeji Adetona said careless practices were damaging the currency and undermining its symbolic value. The Naira is more than a means of payment. It represents our national pride, our sovereignty, and our shared destiny as a people. Unfortunately, careless practices such as folding, tearing, spraying at social events, writing on notes, and even outright mutilation undermine the dignity of our national symbol and increase the cost of maintaining it, Bello said. He warned that failure to address the problem would mean Nigerians continue to bear the consequences if we do not act today. Poor handling of our notes will continue to raise the cost of printing and replacement of the currency, cause frustration in everyday transaction, and weaken confidence in our national currency. Well, we're going to be taking some comments from social media as regards this topic, and the first comment is coming from Boysomi22, and Boysomi says the real cashless economy is about to start next year. They want to make tax reforms effective in 2026. Okay, Joy Somi, I think she's just trying to look at for the possible implication for this whole Naira mutilation and all of that. So the next comment is coming from Kingsley Bet, and Kingsley Bet says, but can't raise alarm over vote excessive spending by politicians. Okay, so people are beginning to break tables here. The third comment, which is the last comment for today, is coming from Wealth Trillion AY. And Wealth says, Naira devaluation has caused more abuse than any. Well, I'm not alone today. In the studio, I have with me Priscilla Obasi. Good morning, Priscilla.
Good morning, Ogochukwu. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, Priscilla. You look good.
Thank you.
So, I'm sure you actually followed what I was saying about the Naira and how they had to address it, that it's beginning to cause devaluation of Naira when you kind of squeeze the notes, when, you spray money, and some other things like social event, writing on the notes, folding the notes, tearing the notes is causing devaluation. But some persons on social media are saying that is not the reason why. Although they went ahead to say that, okay, when people print excess notes, it also causes devaluation. My question is there anyone licensed to print excess notes aside the Central Bank of Nigeria, or print notes, as the case may be, print notes aside the Central Bank of Nigeria?
Of course not. The Central Bank Nigeria is the only licensed body, that can print our notes. And for me, the whole Naira mutilation, Naira devaluation, and all of that, the effect of fake Naira notes, the one major effect of fake Naira notes is the state of second guessing it puts citizens in. Sometimes you want to collect, money. There was a particular time that it was so, it was really, rampant. Fake Naira. Sometimes you go to get things and you have to check, especially that period when I think it was 1,000 Naira notes, that came out newly, and then you want to get stuff. There were lots of fake notes then. So the pressure it puts citizens in, the second guessing you have to go through, collecting notes and all, making sure that it is not fake. I don't think it's something that should be. In all honesty, we are Nigerians, and Nigeria is ours. Nigeria is our home. This Naira is our own. This is our own currency. So it it is in our place to protect it in whatever way we can, because we are Nigerians first off. But then, I don't think in this time and age, we should be talking about, topics like this. We have technology-driven ways of preventing this. Yeah, there was a time we had the cashless policy. You understand, and it really puts a lot of people on their toes. It exposed people to new technologies. There are people that you would have flogged and cried to go and open accounts. But that period, you saw them opening accounts. You had different microfinance banks, assessing market people, giving them POSs and all of that. It really brought a lot of awareness, and it made things easier. It made, right now you can take a bike. There are people, once I take a bike and I transfer to the bike man without issues. Like, if it was not for the cashless season, I don't think we would have gotten to that stage right now in Nigeria. So we can improve on our technology, to detect these things, or to, rather than saying Naira notes, we don't even have to be in that space where we have to keep printing so much notes. We need to use notes when it is necessary. Yeah. Yes. So this is, for me, it doesn't make, I don't want to say it doesn't make any sense, but I mean, we shouldn't be discussing about things like this in 2025.
But are you ready for the cashless policy? Because I think this is more like bringing in cashless policy. Like you mentioned earlier, you said sometimes you use bikes, you don't even need to pay with cash because the bike man now accepts transfer and can just do it, through one of these microfinance banks and all of that. So do you think that Nigeria is ready for cashless policy?
Well, I don't think anything is stopping us, but for our networks, sometimes if we remember that period where we had that cashless policy really at its peak, there were lots of network glitches. You want to transfer, you want to, you see that you sent money, the money reverses and all of that. Even tackle that aspect, I don't think there's anything limiting us. And more awareness. Go to the market, talk to these market people. If we have a level of trust in the banking sector, I don't think people would not want to freely walk into the bank and put their money there. We still have people in 2025 that do not want to enter the bank to save their money because I save my money, before you debit me, different kind of debits. There's still this mistrust in the banking sector.
You can't say 1,000 and get 1,000 in
that is it. So we need to readdress all of this. What do I call it now? I don't. It appears as little money, but it's not little. Yeah, if you collect 100 naira from 100 million Nigerians, that is 100 million naira. In billions. Yeah, in billions. So if you collect 1 naira, 100 million Nigerians, that is 100 million naira. So look at it as if it is little. No, we need to improve the trust, and this is to the CBN governor. Whatever it is, whatever we can do, we shouldn't be talking about printing of notes now. We should be going towards technology, to avoid, cash, because however you want to look at it, there is a disadvantage in having too much cash in your hand. Medically, it's not even good when you hold money over and over and over again, passing from one person to another, before you know, you're giving out viruses like hepatitis and the rest of it. No, we should move from the cash policy to the cashless policy. All of this discussion is not what we should be talking about in 2025, in my opinion.
Okay, so look at the technology aspect. You've also talked about a bit of the health aspect. So I just want to go back to one of the comments made by by Kingsley, and he says, "But can't raise alarm over votes excessive spending by politicians." Now we're moving over to politics. We have often seen countless times when vote buying goes on, and we've heard of vote buying, and these they just come small, they come big money because they give you cash. They don't want to do any form of transfer, so maybe you don't get to trace what is going on, so they have to bring it in cash. What do you say about this? Is this not also going to cause devaluation of the naira?
Exactly. If you have cash, it's still the same thing we're talking about. If we implement the cashless policy, it's easy to track these politicians. It's easy to track vote buying. Yes, it will be easy to track all those things.
But sometimes it looks like the politicians even kind of look above the law, because most times we see these things, but the law does not bring them to book. Like, we don't get to hear about judgments, we don't get to hear anything. they still let them go like that. So, but if you, as a smallie now, small citizen of the country, you now decide to organize your birthday and maybe spray your money, they are picking you and you are staying for 6 months in Kirikiri. So I think the law should actually take its course, and nobody is above the law, honestly.
Absolutely.
Everyone should be brought to book whenever they do anything that is truly against the law.
Absolutely. It's our desire. It is each and every of the Nigerian citizens' desire that the law works. But I mean, where we are, we only can keep praying and keep hoping and keep working, towards making it work, because we cannot fold our hands. We will not fold our hands. If we fold our hands, it gets worse. So we have to stand together and fight, speak, voice out, of course, the right way, right?
All right, thank you so much, Priscilla. I really enjoyed this particular episode of Social Buzz on Global Morning. Thank you for your contribution. It means a lot to us.
Thank you.
And if you want to be part of this conversation, please use the social media handles you see right here on your screen and be part of the conversation. Please go to YouTube, Global TV NG. It's our morning show. It's Global Morning, and be part of this conversation on Social Buzz and every other conversation that will be coming your way here on Global Morning. I am Ogochukwu Mobuna. Stay with us as Global Morning continues.
And topic.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What is your problem? We're on the road to protest. And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What is your problem? We're on the road to protest. And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Alright, welcome back. This is still Global Morning on Global Television, DSTV, channel 365 and Star Times 276. Right about now, we are proper into the discussion segment, and this is like the first discussion segment. Nigeria's 2027 elections are still years away. It's 2027. Yet, politicians and political atmosphere already feels like campaign season. We have little subtle rallies, subtle slogans, subtle alignments, and even posters are finding their way into conversations long before the Independent National Electoral Commission officially gives the green light. And the trend is raising an important question. What does early campaigning mean for Nigeria's democracy? I have with me in the studio, he is a politician, and we're here to dissect this conversation. Does this strengthen political awareness? Does it distract from governance? Is it an opportunity to engage the people, or is it simply a tool of political muscle flexing? You get to meet my guests just after this break. Please stay with us. So I have with me in the studio Honorable Haski Alhassan. He's here to unpack the conversations with us. He's a seasoned politician, and he understands both the opportunities and the risk that comes with Nigeria's political culture. You're welcome to the studio, sir.
Thank you. Good morning, Priscilla. Good morning, our viewers.
Welcome, sir. So there's a trend coming in the city of Abuja. You can already see one or two posters, talking about campaigns, voting for this person, subtle communication here and there, and campaign conversations are really heating up. Yet 2027 is still far away. From your perspective, why are politicians starting so early?
Priscilla, actually, let me start from the grassroots. From the grassroots, in the sense that in Abuja Municipal Area Council, we are having an area council election by February. Okay. So the activities of the politics started here because it was yesterday, 24th of September. INEC has already lifted the campaign should be started as at yesterday, Wednesday.
Okay, that's for the grassroots.
For the grassroots, for the area council elections. Yes.
Okay.
INEC has already given a mandate from yesterday till on the 28th of February.
Okay.
That is 48 hours to the area council election. It is then that the campaign is going to be stopped, an open campaign.
Okay.
Let me go back to your question regarding the 2027 election, as you have earlier asked. As far as my party concerned, the APC, we have never started anything related to the campaign as at now, but seeing posters, seeing billboards, seeing people commenting this and that in social media, in all the media houses, is nothing but Nigerians are trying to show their appreciation to the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that he has done well, he has done a lot, that they need him come 2027, let him come back.
Is this coming from Nigerians, really?
Of course it is coming from Nigerians. What are you, okay?
From Nigerians, from the political party?
No, it's not from the Nigerian. It's not from the political party. It is from the Nigerian. Because many Nigerians were able to understand, okay, what are the, works of the present administration. He has never, delayed any ministry part. 1 month, 2 months without selling to any government parastatal. All dues that are related to, civil service has been paid by this government. And when you look at the other area of infrastructural development, when you come to FCT, in every week you come here, our minister, Barrister Elisa Wiki, commissioning project of road, hospital, water project, road here, bridge here, so many projects. So with that, Nigerians, as you can see, we do see some billboard, posters. Excuse me.
And they're not
billboard and posters. When you see them, you will never see the donor. That person is an APC man entirely, an ESCO or somebody that we know him in the FCT or in Nigeria as a stakeholder, but a Nigerian that feel that yes, all are well, they need Baba to come back 2027.
Okay, so do you see, is this healthy in the political space?
Look, what I want other Nigerians, because let me say this, you know, it's as similar as this. Similar in the thing that in the bush, when a lion roars, all other animals will start looking for where to hide. This is what is happening, honestly. When they heard the cry of the lion, each and every animal will look for where to hide. So the other opposition in Nigeria are looking at things, they cannot, who are the oppositions? Is it the PDP or the ADC? So what I was trying to tell you is that probably what will happen in 2027 is what we are going to say a walkover.
Walkover?
Yes, because there was no strong opposition in Nigeria to come and even contest with the current president.
Now,
go into the internet crisis, the PDP. We want to deal with the internet crisis. Who is the real aspirant that is ready, that will come up to compete with our aspirants?
Okay, this is not about a worthy competitor now. This very issue is about early campaigns already starting. Clearly, we see billboards, we see signboards, we see subtle hashtags here and there, already going on. And elections is still far away in 2027. Doesn't this affect democracy? Well, leaders are still, in office with mandates to deliver. They are not. Some of them have not finished delivering their mandates. We are already focusing on 2027. Why not focus on what you are currently doing, what you have, been appointed to do, and deliver, and then we can talk of, another year.
Exactly. What you are saying is right in the sense that at least we have to respect the rules and regulations that governs the system. That is, INEC has already, made similar complaint or call, as you are saying, that there should be no any campaign and talks that are related to the 2027 general election, because it is actually far. But what I wanted to call your attention or other Nigerians to know is that in this aspect, when somebody already feels defeated, he will start crying why that he is going to be defeated. This is what other opposition are looking at it and are trying to bring it to that level. Let me go back to the issue of the billboard and signage, as you have said. It is a Nigerian. You can never see our party either at the national or at the FCT level or at world level that there was a promotion of a presidential campaign structures. We don't have that. So we didn't come to that. But for somebody who has all it takes financially to sponsor or to pay, because you cannot just go and pick a billboard anywhere, anyhow. You have to pay for that. Those people are paying for government and the companies that are into those billboards and signage adverts. So they know, they feel, and they believe that the person they are putting their pictures there is somebody who has paid his dues to Nigerians, or somebody who has contributed to them and to the well-being of Nigerians. So that's why we are trying to appreciate him by doing that. Because when you say you are going to see Mr. President, to tell him, yes, Mr. President, you have done well in this area, but for you to have that opportunity, you don't have. But through the signage, you can be able to explain your mind. Through the signage, you can be able to tell the world whom you are supporting and the reasons you are supporting. And let me tell you one thing, I'm not doubting it anywhere at any stage right from here to say that Mr. President has done all to us. And even if it is an opposition, let me give this open invitation to you to call any Nigerian from any political party that serve as an opposition to come and give me 1,000 reasons why we should not vote Tinubu, or giving 1,000 reasons why Tinubu should go again. No, so like I said again, the focus is not on who to vote or why we should vote a particular candidate. There are Nigerians that could develop voter fatigue, already getting tired before elections because of the endless political talks before proper elections, before the years. Don't you think this affects voter apathy and all of that? Willingness to go to the polling unit, having heard endless talks on voting and candidates and arguments on the internet and every other space. Anyway, 2027 is not far from here, and I believe by next year the campaign can be lifted up and the primary election within the parties will be geared off. So let me say it as you want it, or as other Nigerians and opposition want it, that please, we should try to do everything according to the rules and regulations that governs the system. That is, you cannot just jump into something without asking the stakeholders, that is the INEC, the political parties. When it is due time for me to go into such activities, these activities and others. Now, without having to walk up to the INEC, you understand. Now, you say, you make a claim now that these are individuals voluntarily putting out this billboards to express their mind to Nigerians. What is political party? What structure do they have? Do they play in driving or curbing premature campaigns? Is there not something they can do about it? No. Let me call the attention of other Nigerians and anyone that is looking at it as a political activities. Let them go and find out. All these activities were not conducted by the ESCO at the world level or local government. So if it's not within the basics of the political structures, you cannot blame a political party. You cannot blame an individual for expressing what is in his mind. Political parties know the rules, and I believe these individuals that put up these billboards and campaigns, they are not from the party. They are not from the party. Of course, go and find out. I'm telling you, as I have seen many, most of them, you can see courtesy or their pictures. Yeah. So I don't know any one of them within the ESCO of FCT or the ESCO of Abuja Municipal Area Council. All the 12 wards we have in Amak, they are contributing. They are other Nigerians. Probably they are not even living an origin of this FCT. So they believe that it is here that the ministers are going here and there. It is there the governors are running around. It is here that probably Mr. President can go for commissioning one project or the other. So he can be able to see the billboards. He can be able to see their complement. This is what is happening. But all I know, when it is time, probably it is then our political party and most supporters will come up with their billboards, will come up with their structures, promotion. But let me tell you one thing. I am telling you, all this cry is from those that feel they are losers. They are going to lose, that's why they are crying. Okay, it is a matter of energy. If you have the energy, let us start it. No, it shouldn't be the matter of energy. It should be a matter of doing the right things. I see billboards in the Federal Capital Territory being marked sometimes, but I've never seen a political billboard marked wrongly. Probably they have paid their dues. Oh. Yes. So others do not pay their dues. Is it supposed to be there?
It's already wrong. It's already wrong putting up a billboard for a 2027 election when the INEC has not given the mandate to do so. So what makes a due? What makes you paying a due now accepted? Because the basis is already wrong, the foundation is already wrong. There's no due that you pay that should, give you the permission to put up a billboard when it is not time for campaigns yet.
Most of the billboard that you can see, let me call your attention to what has happened in the APC Northeast geopolitical zone campaign. There was a billboard text for Mr. President, but there was an absence of the picture of the vice president, and that would bring chaos into that rally. So let me call the attention of all those that are trying to attack us or attack our president in respect of that billboard. You have never seen all those billboards indicate president and his vice. So that is not a campaign. Had it been a vice president was tagged behind him, so he's campaign for himself and his running mate. But it's as I have earlier said, it's an expression of gratitude to what Mr. President has done to that person in person or to the country. Let me recall your attention to one of the billboards you can see. You can see some of the pictures, maybe him and his wife. So that indicates it's not a campaign, because his wife cannot be his own mate. So it's an appreciation by Nigerians for Nigerians. But that should not be a campaign. With all the information there, who is the running mate?
Well, there is a text that can be.
And if you can be able to see
it's 27 text. There are other ways to appreciate. There are other texts. There are texts you can use as an appreciation text. When you target 2027, then it's a campaign. I'm sorry to say that.
It's a best wishes to him. And that's 2027, not campaign.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's a best wishes.
Interesting.
2027, not campaign. So please, I'm calling the attention, and they should know. My party, I believe, is a party that respects rule of law, that believe in due process, and is the party that respect the rules and regulation from INEC. So we all have the guidance. We all know what it takes to do the right thing, and when it is time for campaign, we can be able to do that. But nevertheless, I'm still trying to use this opportunity to call the attention of our party members and stakeholders and those that are, doing such kind of things, that they should please go and make an inquiry from the INEC, that was this type of information, billboards, be free and allowed to be faced by the rules. If someone was able to have that, fine. But let me tell you one thing. You have to understand that as far as this billboard exactly and banners you are seeing in the road, most especially there are companies. There is an organization regulating their activities and their businesses, and there are taxes paying to the area council on that billboard and signage. So a company has to comply to all those standards before their board will be where it is.
You made mention of the fact that they have paid their dues. Is it strictly about just paying your dues? Are we allowed to do whatever we want to do in this space because we pay our dues?
No. It is not. What I was trying to say here is that the people that are monitoring, that are doing the business of the signage and billboard, know more about it, and I believe it is within the ambit of law. That's why those projects are going here and there. I believe so. But to those that are appealing, it is not. They should please hold on, and probably very soon the time will come where you can see their signage and billboard too.
What impact do you think early campaigns have on other citizens? If you had an opposition party now, I want you to put yourself in a particular shoe. If you have an opposition party now, doing all of this, how would it make you feel? How would it affect you and every other person that it can affect?
This early campaign, as you have said, it depends depends on what you have. What you have in politics, not necessarily the financial resources, but if you were able to do the right thing, it is then that you can be able to start the early campaign, so that the early campaign can tell the people you are campaigning to who you are. If you have failed them, you don't have anything to tell them to consider you. But if you have done enough that you can be telling them right from the time you have started up to the time, campaign time, up to the open campaign time approved by the INEC, so you can win their mind. But if you are telling them rubbish, they will be listening, they will not accept it.
Is it about what you tell them? Is it about just what you can say? Is it about competence? Is it not about what you have?
That's what I'm saying. You have to tell them, if you, okay, that's what I'm saying. What you tell them is about the project you have done, about your manifesto. More especially if you are in power, you can come up with a blueprint of what you have achieved within the short period of time. Go and find out from the FIRS, what are the revenue generated right from 2980 to date. I mean in 2023. Go and find out what is the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu generated in terms of the revenue generated from the FIRS. So with that, if I were to tell you, okay, I'm not going to compare or to tell you all the figures and everything about that. But what I was trying to say here is that if other aspirants and other party stakeholders believe that they have all it takes, so left for them to go and look for the people and campaign with them, campaign to them based on what they have, based on their performance, based on their blueprint, based on what, if they were there, they can be able to achieve. But for those that are in power, if they have started it by now, they can be able to call the attention of Nigeria. Yes, we are in the power for this period of time, and this is what we have achieved, and this is what we are trying to achieve if we are able to give it the time. So left for Nigerians to compare and contrast which one is the best, which one is going, which one do we campaign for. But more especially, I think if you look at it in the other way around, it is a matter of financial capacity. Yes, do you have the capacity to endure, to take it from the time that it's not allowed up to the time that you think you are delivering?
I don't get that.
Okay, what I was trying to say is that if you were able to start your campaign earlier, probably if you don't have enough resources to fuel your movement, so you get exhausted.
Okay, so it's not about who has the biggest money.
No. What I was trying to say is that if you do not start it at the right time, you will end at the wrong target. But it's a matter of calculation. When is the right time? Who are the right audience? And how to achieve it?
The right time is when INEC says is the right time.
Yes, I agree. I believe so.
I to do subtle campaigns, to create awareness, and then you have your loyalists come out to vouch for you. You have your loyalists come out to speak a word for you. In all of this, it is important. It's important to do it, like you said, within the ambit of the law, and most especially, Nigeria is in such a very sensitive. We are such a sensitive people when it comes to politics, tribe, religion, and all of these factors. So I think it's important to tread cautiously, because I've seen people, go become enemies because of politics. Trying, this one is supporting another person, this other person is supporting another person. In the name of politics, in the name of my faith, in the name of my politician, they become enemies.
Exactly. So, but let me ask you.
Sorry, okay. I was just going to land. This is just to say that as much as we want, to have supporters, we want to get votes, we want, Democrats, we want to be democratic. We have to do it well. We have to do it with the heart of Nigerians in mind. We have to do it, to not cause chaos, amongst other Nigerians. We do things without triggering people, and that is when we do it in the right way. People would have edge. The politicians in power now, of course, they have an edge over those the opposition right now. And we need to also consider that one day we will be in their shoes. I know it is not a fair game, right? Yeah. It is the survival of the fittest and all of that. But things need to be done right. If we say we love our country, if we say we have Nigerians at heart, we need to consider that things have to be done right.
Exactly, my sister. Let me say this, Priscilla, or repeat myself in other programs. As at now, as at today, I am an APC member and my presidential candidate is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu come 2027. But what I was always saying is that, or my message to other Nigerians is that, let us rise above religion, tribe, and sometimes political interests. We should keep all these interests aside. When we keep all these interests aside, then we should put Nigeria at first. We should put Nigeria at our mind. We forget about our differences. When we look at the Nigeria first, we should do what is best for the Nigeria. This is my call to Nigerians, irrespective of their tribe, irrespective of their political party or religion. It is then that we will have a better Nigeria that you will enjoy, I will enjoy, he will enjoy, and our yet unborn children will come and thank us for what we have done for the country. But once we were able to always look at our interest is always our party, our interest is always our religion, our interest is always our tribe, we cannot go anywhere. We will not achieve it, and we are not playing the game the way it should be, or the way it's supposed to be. Let me give this example. Barack Obama was a black American, but he was a president. Why? Because he said yes, he can, and he has done it well. And all the black Americans and all the Americans supported him almost 75% of moment. So we have to emulate such kind of leadership. We're supposed to do that in order to serve the country. Forget about the campaigns early or not early. Keep on campaign right from the day you were born, but if you don't have the qualities to deliver, why will you give you that chance? Please, Nigerian, I'm pleading and I'm calling the attention of other Nigerians that we should rise above our differences and look for a better Nigeria. This is the only thing that will celebrate the nation and give us a better result that we all want. But as of today, my candidate is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And my party is FEC.
Well, you are calling for unity, and then it's also important to understand that it doesn't matter who is at the forefront, right? The most important thing is we have the right man to move our country.
I believe he's the right man, that's why I was within the system. But when it comes, I have been able to relate the differences, then I can tell Nigerian, well, these are my reasons why I can see.
It shouldn't be about a part, it shouldn't be about a person at this point.
Yes.
The conversation should not be, that is the same thing we're talking about, early campaigns. The conversation before officially, before the INEC officially kickstart a campaign should be about moving Nigeria. We should be talking about, those already in power that are supposed to complete what they are supposed to do. That is what the conversation should be about. We shouldn't be talking about a person right now.
Exactly.
No, we should collectively talk about moving our country from point A to point B, supporting whoever it is that is in power. Yeah. Do you understand? To move it to where it should be. And then when the INEC officially says, okay, political parties, go ahead and present your candidate, then we can now start talk about a party or a candidate. Exactly. But right now the conversation is not about a candidate. Exactly. The conversation is about what we have already going on for us as a country, and how to move it from point A to point B.
Exactly. What you're saying is quite right, in the sense that if one will not try to abide by the rules and regulations that is governing what you are doing, that means you are doing something different. We must respect the rules and regulation and the laws governing the system that is the election, which was conducted by the INEC. So I'm appealing for Nigerians, irrespective of their party, whatsoever they are, we should please try to always get in touch with INEC on our activities. Not that we should be doing it the way we want it.
Thank you.
Not that we should be doing it wrongly, because for you not to respect the ethics of INEC and guidelines, that means you are doing something wrongly and you are not helping the matter.
Yes.
Because you are polluting the system.
Yes. So
for those that are trying to pollute the system, I'm appealing that they should stop doing such kind of things. We should try to respect INEC, no matter our influence, no matter our capacity, no matter what we have. Please, I'm appealing to Nigerians. more especially my party people. I know we are law-abiding and for Nigerian, and I'm calling on you, we should respect this. And I'm not calling for the opposition too. We should try to be cordial on all we are doing.
Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much. This is to say that wherever it is wrong should be spoken outrightly.
Exactly.
Yes. If we see a campaign, a billboard where it shouldn't be or when it shouldn't be, then we should call it. You know, we should be orderly.
Exactly.
We should stop.
Exactly. Let me, as you have earlier, let me even call your attention. When we went everywhere here and there in the FCT, you can see billboards of Barrister Wilson Wike. Is Wike contesting? He's not. But that billboard is an appreciating by the people on the good job he has been doing in the FCT. Because in Wike's you cannot see 2027, 2026 and other things. But it's an appreciation.
Yes, exactly. So when we see, it's the same thing I was saying, when we see an appreciation billboard, it's different from a campaign billboard. A billboard that clearly says 2027 is obviously a campaign billboard. If you want to appreciate, you count or you put text like, you know, outline all the works he has done and commend him for it. That is not a problem at all. But when we come to see text that says 2027, I mean, that's a billboard by all standards. And
so I think this is your understanding, and I'm not part of those that are fixing that billboard 2027, but I'm calling the attention of those that are doing it. They should please use one way or the other to balance their own story on the reason behind writing 2027 in 2025.
Thank you very much. 2027 in 20.
They may have their reason for doing so, which I don't know. But I'm appealing to them. If they were able to see my message here, they should try to clear the air for Nigerians on why and what are the reasons of written 2027 in 2025.
Okay, and then I would want to ask, for you now as a party member of the APC, don't you think, does it have to be an APC that takes us from? I don't think we should go, like you have mentioned, we should all look beyond political parties. If you see a candidate that is capable, is it not okay to stand for that person regardless of party?
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. That we should try to go into that level. But what are the qualities of the person that you brought that is better than mine? It's something to be considered, honestly. It's something to be.
We even have an open mind to even know the qualities. I think Nigeria politics is about party as it is. Because if we take it away from party, do we have the open mind to look at this candidate individually? Sometimes we don't even want to look at them. We don't want to assess them. We're stuck with, this is the party I want, and it's, you know, we just go out for that belief and that mindset.
Yes, this is what I'm saying, Priscilla, that Nigerians should rise above those differences. We should go on the merit of the candidate.
Yes.
We should try to find out who are they, what is them, what are their track record before to come and contest. We should put, and there is one policy that is going now on the ground, or a rumor saying that the APC trying to make Nigeria into one party system. So if it happens that it will be a one party system, that's where the game will be better, because we must make sure that an eligible candidate was given the chance to contest for any position. In an event whereby non-eligible candidate was given by the party and everybody, right from there, they will know, yes, we are losing. We are losing because, yes, the most credible is in the party B. That's why I can say I'm always appreciating the good work of former President Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida for creating two parties for the country, PDP and NRC. So if you have good here, we'll go for the good. If you have the bad here, we'll go. We don't mind about the political parties, and this is what happened. And I'm telling you, this is what will happen in 2027 general election. The Nigerians were able to understand that, yes, let's forget about the party. Like what other Nigerians are saying, oh, what has happened when former President Buhari was in other parties before APC, they said, let us do waki the shinkafa. You know this? What does that mean? It's a Hausa language. Waki the shinkafa means rice and beans. They will select the beans from the rice. So, and leave the rice. So, we select the better candidate from irrespective of his party. And make sure that we put in either at the Senate, State House of Assembly, local government chairman, or else. So this is what it is, and this is what I'm pleading with Nigerians. Came 2027, we should think toward that. We should look at, we should try to find out more, to dig more about who are the people behind each and every aspirant. What are the qualities behind that person before we elected him? We are tired of electing criminals. We are tired of electing those with bad record. And for doing so over all these years, we are not able to achieve something tangible that we're going to show to Nigerians. But as at now, I think Nigerians were able to wake up from all the campaigns, all the attacks, and here and there. You can be able to see.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. I think this is how far we can take for this very segment of the show this morning. It's been an insightful conversation, and I like the fact that you have openly said this is wrong, you know, and the right things should be done. That's a takeaway from the conversation today. Let us just go on a quick break. When we return, Global Morning will still be here. Please stay with us.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest. The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
welcome back. This is still Global Morning on Global Television. We're still in the studio and the conversation is about to take a new turn. Yeah, we're talking about, on this very segment, grassroots governance, what it entails. How can you hold your local government chairman? How can you hold your councillors accountable? How can you demand what is due your constituency, sorry, not constituency, your local government, yeah? What is due you in that, in your community, yes, what is due you? How can you demand that of those in charge? Who are even those in charge? Do you know them? Most times we want to blame those at the top, tend to blame our governors, and you're in the city of Abuja, all the blame falls on the FCT minister, that is Nyesom Wike, or you blame Tinubu if he's, the current governor. But do you know that you have people that are supposed to attend to your community in that place where you stay? That's why we have this conversation right now. And fortunately, we still have Al-Hassan Haske, Honorable Hassan Haske, into the studio. He is someone in that space. He is a grassroots politician, and I believe he is able to dissect this conversation, to give us details, to inform us on what we should know about grassroots politics in Nigeria. Thank you for still being here with us. Yes.
Thank you, Priscilla. Good morning, our viewers.
Yes, sir. So we're moving the conversation to grassroots politics. We want to assess grassroots politics in Nigeria. I don't know which celebrity was that recently that came out to say, do not hold only your president accountable for things. You have, sometimes we even forget that we have state governors. Funny enough, sometimes we forget, if you ask somebody in a particular state, maybe in Imo State, in Kaduna State, in Ogun State, just go and interview a market woman there. You would hear, our president is not doing well, the government is not trying, Tinubu, this and that and that and this. You get. Who should we hold accountable? What is this, what is the hierarchy of, offices when it comes to grassroots politics?
Grassroots politics is a politics that's supposed to be the mother of all politics. But I wanted to plead with other Nigerians and media houses that they should take a thorough campaign to Nigerians about politics at the grassroots. We must start putting a better Nigeria from the grassroots. Nigeria must unite themselves at the grassroots in order to have a positive response in all the affairs and activities of the country. Once we were not united, once we were not organized at the grassroots, where can we go? Where can we approach? What are we going to achieve? Nigerians, if it warrants for me to always be in the studio in each and every Nigerian media houses, I will be. I will sacrifice my time. I will sacrifice my energy and all I have to call on Nigerians that we should come and unite ourselves at the grassroots, and we should know our impact. We should know our power in unity. We should know our power on what to do and how to do at the grassroots in order to achieve what we want. What all Nigerians are in need nowadays is a better Nigeria. But that can only be achieved with a unity and synergy at the grassroots. We have supervisory councillors. We have advisors. We have elected councillors. We have area council chairmen, local government chairmen. And these people that I'm seeing, there are billions or trillions per annum going to these people. Are they doing the right thing with those trillions? Are the trillions going to them exactly? Where are some of the trillions vanishing, going to? We can only know that when we unite ourselves. We can only know that when we were able to see what was done to us based on our subvention and grant that comes from the federal government to the area council. Let me give an example. Like my area council, Abuja Municipal Area Council. I'm appealing to other Nigerians. There are millions and billions generated as revenue from the Abuja Municipal Area Council. But nobody care to know where are those 3 months going and the billions. There are money in billions in terms of sharing revenue generated by the FCT, IRS, given to the area council. But when it comes to the area council, nobody at the grassroots, nobody care to know the billions given to the area council, what does the chairman did with it. We have to checkmate them. We have rights as Nigerians, as citizens, to know how our resources was managed. But unfortunately, Nigerians, we were divided by religion, we were divided by our ethnicity or political party. We should keep all that aside. We should try to form ourselves, we should try to organize ourselves at the grassroots so that we can be able to know what are the funds given to each and every local government per month. How much is the salary? What are the salaries of each and every one? In those days before now, and the reason behind formation of area council and local government in Nigeria is to serve as a shopping floor to the common man. If you are sick to a stage whereby you don't have the money, or in your locality, your primary health care cannot be able to control your level of your sickness, you rush to your local government, your area council should fund your sickness, should take you to the right hospital and pay for all those for you. But are they doing today? They were not. What makes them not doing it? Because we have abandoned them, we have considered that they should go in their own business. No, it is not their own business. It is our own business as Nigerians to checkmate them, to ask them, to know the billions they are generating from the federal government, to know how they are spending those billions. But unfortunately, today you can see the technical partners in generation revenue to the area council, to the local government, are no longer remitting their dues to the council treasuries, and nobody cared to know, and we are almost crying looking for a better government. Please, to those that were able to have themselves as a leaders, as a supervisory councillor, as an elected councillor, as a council secretary, as a vice chairman, as a chairman of the council, I'm starting with you because you are more of the grassroots, and with a fund that it means for the well-being of Nigerians at that level. So I'm appealing to you to understand one thing, that you are not there some years back, and in years to come you will not be there. So how do you want Nigerians and we are able to look at you? How? Okay. What do you contribute? We should try to see that we have done something better, where we can live freely within our community, where we can be proud that we have served our people, not loot our people. Okay, so if Nigeria can be able to look into this formation of organizations at the grassroots, when we junior and potential order at that level, the attention of the member state assembly and federal house of representatives must come to us. Because we have united ourselves and they know we can use our unity to attack them, to checkmate them in their activities, and probably to remove them in their position. So they will respect us and give us what we want. But Nigerians, I'm pleading with Nigerians and other media houses in Nigeria, we should start campaigning to Nigerians on the needs and contribution on other Nigerians at grassroots level in order to put Nigeria in order to make Nigeria working. Okay. That's on accountability. We need more. We need an accountable system. We need to know. We need the citizens of Nigeria to know what to expect of their grassroots leaders. Now, on grassroots leadership, urbanization is becoming the order of the day. People migrate from one part of the country to another, and then in this part of the world, that is in Nigeria, we have one feeling from. Sometimes you see a place of birth, then you see state of origin. I believe that
it is possible, is it possible, let me just ask outrightly, is it possible to become a leader of a community where I am not an indigenous of?
Of course, if you have a good mind, if you have a good blueprint, if you are there to salvage the system and the people that are within the vicinity, you are a leader. Your contribution give you a leader, not when you wear a not by origin or by birth. No, your contribution deserves to be who you are to the people.
That is absolute. That is true. But then, what are the criteria of contesting for grassroots positions in politics? Do I have to be an indigenous of that place? Can I, by place of birth, being born in a particular environment, can I be qualified to say become a leader, not just by works per se, but in the books officially?
Officially, for someone to be elected, you have to meet all the criteria to be a student of that country. And by migration, there are some years I cannot exactly know. Is it 5 or 6 or 10? I think I cannot be able to know. By residence, that is indigenous by residence or by origin or by birth.
I'm talking about the context of Nigeria. If I want to become a councillor, or that's where I'm going. Okay.
That's where I'm going.
Okay.
So, for you to contest in any position, you must be an indigenous of that locality, either by birth, by origin, or by residence.
Okay.
So, by residence, it has the years you have stayed there. By origin, you are already an origin. By birth, you are already given birth there, so you go up to that level that you are contesting.
Okay.
So that's why I was saying, by residence, I cannot exactly remember the years. But there are some certain requirements for you to contest. That means you must belong to a political party.
Okay.
And for political party, you must know who are the stakeholders, the executives of that ward, so that you go and obtain membership card and you will be registered as member of that political parties. And if it were there are some certain dues paid for membership, you will be paying.
Okay.
If there are meetings and other activities of that party, you'll be informed, you'll be participating.
Okay.
Then you must obtain a voter's registration card that indicates you live within those areas.
Okay.
That voter's card is what enables you to vote and be voted.
Okay.
According to INEC. You cannot come where you don't have the voter's card and you fill the form, you say you wanted to consent. No. Part of the criteria from the INEC is that you must obtain a voter's card within that area. So for councillor, if you have able to obtain this, you can contest for any position from councillor to president.
Okay. Oh, okay. So I don't necessarily have to be an indigenous of that place.
Of course, I told you, you can be an indigenous by residence, by birth or by origin.
Okay.
So anyone that you are able to be, you are entitled to contest.
Okay. So what is the process of this accountability? For example, in my environment or in my community, we don't have good roads. Because most times in Nigeria, good roads in the community, you see people, residents of that community coming together to put money to build the road or to make the road workable, better. Is it supposed to be, who do I go to meet? If I belong to a community and our road is bad, who is the right person to go meet and say, we need this road to be fixed?
In Nigeria, there are roads that are federal roads.
Yes.
State road.
Yes.
And local government road, that is area council road.
Yes.
So you should look at that level of that road. What type you see?
A local.
So the responsibility of the community.
Who is the right person? What's the process? Yes. What's the process of getting my road fixed? That is not a federal road. That is still my street road that keeps getting bad, damaging cars. Who do I go to?
If that's your local road is a road that is going to be constructed by a local government, So it's something that you supposed to go to your local government secretariat.
Okay.
Then you can be able to ask, please, may I know who is a councillor of social ward? Which I am saying, that unity that I want Nigerians to have at the grassroots, even before, through that unity, you can be able to know who is your councillor.
Yes.
Then you approach him. Honorable councillor, this is our road, and this is the challenges we are facing about this road. Please, this is our demand. He will take it to the council. Once nothing was done, you people can put a delegation under that your grassroots promotion of association or organization. You went to the council and meet your supervising councillor works, including your councillor, and laid a complaint before him. Then left for the chairman to look at his budget and his resources. If it is something within short period of time he can do, he will do it. If it is something that he didn't have it on his budget, then he can promise you, okay, our budget is so time, and we will try to see we foot this road in our next year's budget. If it is within his budget and he has the resources, and he look and value your boards and your responsibility, he will just come over within a short period of time and put your word. If it's hospital, the same process you follow. The most important thing is that Nigerians, please, we should forget about our differences irrespective of religion, tribe, or political parties. We should have a communities forum where that community is talking about better Nigeria,
better environment. Let's start off. We need to break it down.
Yes,
around Nigeria.
Yes. Excuse me.
Yes.
Better Nigeria started from better environment, better Nigeria.
Yes.
So through that unity, you can form yourself. When you form your organization, you form yourself. You can be able to communicate with environment or community B. Community C can emulate you. Community D. From there, the message can go on. Things will be in order.
Okay. So we're saying every community has wards.
Every ward has a lot of communities that form the ward.
Every ward has communities. So, for example, now if you have in Cuba, there are different wards. How do I know the office of a ward? Is there an office where all wards, are together in, or how is it done? How?
Let me give you a Abuja here that you are residing.
Yes.
This is, I think you are under Garki ward here.
Yes, okay.
Yes. So, but my cue here is Garki. When you go down, you can have Wuse ward. And from here up to Garki village, you can go to Apple Research Settlement. They are all Garki.
Garki village is on the Garki ward.
When you take from Federal Secretariat, Presidential Villa, up to Abacha Barak, up to Area 11, they are all city center wards. So you can see different communities form a ward. So let's for the people within those living within that community, see how they can organize themselves.
Oh. Okay, so the community members need to gather themselves, go to a ward. There's a ward office.
Yes, a ward office is a councillor.
Okay.
And there is ward supposed to be a ward political party's office. So even if there is no office, there should be a leader of that ward in terms of party. So let Nigerians emulate that.
Okay.
Let's forget about the parties.
Okay.
But promotion of ward leaders based on better Nigeria.
Okay, so the community members come together and visit a ward, right?
Yeah.
To demand of that ward.
To demand for their social amenities.
Their social amenities.
Yeah.
They can actually walk up to a ward and demand.
They can walk to the ward council. A ward was headed by a councillor. So they're supposed to go to that councillor.
Oh.
If it warrant that is above the councillor, then
the councillor stays in the ward.
Of course. No, his office is at the area council. That's the secretariat.
The secretariat.
Yes.
Okay, so every ward has their councillor's office in the secretariat.
Yes.
That's the FCT secretariat.
No. Of their area council
of the local government.
Okay. We have secretariat of AMAC, we have secretariat for Buari, we have for Kuje, we have
the secretariat in Buari, right?
Yes, the secretariat is Buari. Yes.
Okay, this is of course an eye-opener to, I'm sure a lot of Nigerians, because we don't even know these things. You don't know that you can walk up to your secretariat if you are in the axis of Kubwa and Buari area council. You walk up to the secretariat in Buari and go and demand of what is due you. I feel like that is...
Yes, but I was always trying to call attention of unity of Nigerians. Probably when you go alone, you cannot make an impact. But once you people at the grassroots organize yourselves, when you approach the area council, the area council will respect you, will honor you, will consider your demands. So one man cannot probably attract the area council. But if representation of that grassroots people at the ward were able to approach the secretariat. The chairman will welcome them. If chairman is not there, there should be a vice. If vice is not there, there should be a secretary to the council. If secretary is not there, there should be an admin, head of administration. There should be someone elected that is there at the secretariat to consider them, to attend to them, so they can lay their complaint. And besides, there is a means of writing a letter where you can take it to the office of the chairman, and an acknowledgement will be given to you, so you hold that responsible. You can even demand for a meeting.
Yes.
To see your chairman to lay down your complaints to him.
Interesting.
Yes. Let me say it open. All what is happening. Our AMAC chairman is always open to people. If you know him, you approach him, he will listen to. So he has a listening ears to the AMAC shares. So we have to applaud him for that. So another, I think they are trying, so Nigerians should unite themselves, should look at the way they can help those that are in power, but giving them that, avoiding them, giving them that is like giving them license to do whatever they want, because you are not checkmating the activities, you are not making a positive contribution to them. So it's still that is contribution to what, spoiling the country, spoiling the system. If we are guiding, we are following it up with them, at least we will have better things.
Thank you very much for that. This is quite an insightful conversation that will benefit a lot of Nigerians out there. You've heard it from Honorable here. Approach your local government secretariat, demand, and then he is adding that it is important to do it as a community. Come together, whatever it is. If you have a rule that is not working, come together as a community and table it before your local government secretariat for your area council, right? Like he has just mentioned, if you are under the Kubo axis, if you're under the Garki axis, it's AMAC, right? That's AMAC. Is that AMAC? Am I correct?
Where?
For those, where is AMAC under?
AMAC started from, Karachi town.
Okay, Karachi.
Or let me say from Mararaba.
Oh, okay.
And up to after airport is all AMAC. And when you started from that Aegis Express, starting from that Mararaba, if you are going up to Zuba, is under AMAC. But this side, the other Kubo side is Buari. But this side, all Buarimpa up to the end to reach Zuba. It's all under AMAC.
Interesting.
Yes, when you go to airport, up to after airport, there is one village called Tunga Maji. They are all villages under AMAC. When you go down to Jua, Guaba, Karmo, they are all under Abuja Municipal Area Council.
Okay, it's important to study your environment, know what particular terrain that you are in, and know where to approach. The local government council will fall under. It's important for you to have your community working. This is how far we can take it on the discussion right now. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Before we run off, let me use this opportunity to appeal to all the media houses in Nigeria. Please, a topic related to grassroots mobilization for Nigerians for a better Nigeria is a responsibility of all media houses. Please, I'm appealing to all media houses that they should emulate global television in doing a program for Nigerians as a grassroots to know themselves and unite themselves for a better Nigeria, and that is the only way we can achieve a better Nigeria. Thank you, Priscilla.
Worthy of notes. Thank you so much for that addition. So this is how far we can take it on Global Morning today. It has been an insightful conversation. I'm sure you've picked 1, 2, 3, and so many more of what we have talked about today. It's important to let you know that whatever we discuss that is on the newspaper review segment is solely from the publishers. Global TV does not add to it. We just bring them to you as presented by the various publishers. And Global Morning comes to an end at this point. But of course, Global Television still has lots of program outlined for you for the day. Let us keep our tabs, on check. Watch out for Global Television today as we bring to you so many programs for today. Until we come your way again tomorrow on Global Morning. Have yourself an amazing day. Bye.